Superstar. Meanwhile, it's been quite a month in the NBA. Let's try and sort out the very latest because we may be heading now towards a Hollywood sequel. According to Yahoo Sports, the Lakers' big three of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook huddled for a phone conversation recently to confirm their commitment to each other through all of the uncertainty. Now, that uncertainty, of course, includes the very disappointing season they just had and all the conversation about the possibility of Russell Westbrook being traded, I don't know, any minute now, perhaps for Kyrie Irving, perhaps for others. Zach Lowe is there and Nick Friedel is here. What do we make of these three guys getting together on the phone and pledging to find a way to make it work?
Not much. Greedy, that commitment's not worth a damn because they would trade Russell Westbrook today if they could and get that contract off the books. The reality for this Laker team is they're just not good enough as currently constructed. With LeBron, it's always supposed to be about titles. It's always supposed to be about the next one. What we saw last season is the way these guys play together when they are healthy on the floor isn't that of a top caliber team. And I can't believe, given all the issues that Kyrie had in Brooklyn, that I'm about to say this, but the Lakers need Kyrie. If you want talent and you want to raise everybody else up with the group that you have in place, he gives you something different, a different look. If not, they're just running in place. So this commitment to each other doesn't mean much to me at all.
Yeah, Zach, I mean, I think he's framing it as Kyrie or bust. And candidly, I agree. Is that the sentiment right now around the league about the Lakers' chances going forward?
Yeah, and it's Kyrie or bust simply because, I mean, rarely do you see a player of Kyrie Irving's caliber and talent sort of linked to just one team, but there does seem to be a perfect storm of circumstances where there's no larger market for him, and the Lakers are the team desperate enough to get him. And I do agree that the Lakers as presently constructed, cannot win the championship, have very little championship equity. The Lakers with Kyrie Irving, look, they would still have depth issues, but their big three would at least give them a puncher's chance. And when you have LeBron James in your prime, you have to give yourself a puncher's chance. I don't think there's any in-between solution, any other player between Russ and Kyrie, whether it's Buddy Hield or Eric Gordon or whoever, that closes the gap. And I want to finish with one very important point here. Dan Orlovsky is getting trashed on this show for a take that is not nearly as outrageous as you all think it is. Chilled red wine, huge thumbs up. He loses me at the ice cubes, but someone has to defend Dan Orlovsky because chilled red wine is good. The ice cubes are just a bridge too far.
Okay, so let me just make a very quick note to cancel that dinner I have with Zach and Dan coming together at any point because that just became a far less attractive option. But let's stay in the moment if we can. Zach, I appreciate you going there, but let's stay in the moment if we can because I want to come back to the possibility with the Lakers and Kyrie here. Do they control that, Zach? What I'm trying to figure out, and I had Woj in here yesterday, do the Lakers actually control that situation?
I think to some degree they do. Look, Russ for Kyrie straight up is not going to happen. Russ makes way more money. The Nets have a tax issue. Kyrie on talent alone and fit alone is way more valuable. What the Lakers control is what they add to sweeten the pot. They have 2 first-round draft picks they can offer, 2027 and 2029. LeBron does not care about those draft picks at all. He cares about this season. I can understand the Lakers wringing their hands and losing sleep over offering both of them. That's your whole future. That's all you got left. But you absolutely have to put in one because if you're not willing to risk one of those to contend this year, what are you even doing with LeBron James on your team?
Friedel, you are my new friend here, and so I'm about to make you do something that all reporters hate, and that is guess. Is it your expectation that by the time training camp rolls around, Kyrie Irving will be a Laker?
My guess is yes, Greeny, because Brooklyn knows that if you try to run back all the drama that happened last season into this year, you're torpedoing yourself at the beginning. I cannot tell you how many times people in that Nets organization, whether it was stuff Kyrie did on the floor or stuff he said off of it, would go in and just shake their head and be like, I just cannot believe this. If you are Sean Marks, Brooklyn's GM, and you go out of your way and you say at your press conference, we want guys who want to be here. We need to get our culture back. And then you run Kyrie back into training camp and into the season. Oh, good luck to you.
We'll see what happens. Nick Friedel, awesome. Zach, get yourself a Pinot Noir. We'll check in a little bit later as we continue. I've got big football news here. I've actually got two pieces of news coming out of Tampa. The first is this, and it's not very good, and that is that the Buccaneers running back Leonard Fournette has reportedly drawn the ire of his coaches because he's gained considerable weight this offseason. He's listed at 228 pounds. He weighed in about 30 pounds heavier than that during mandatory minicamp. That's according to Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times. So that's bad news, but it is being completely eclipsed by this sneaky big news. Rob Gronkowski's girlfriend is the model Camille Kostak, and she was at the Sports Illustrated swimsuit event, and they asked her about Gronk's retirement. And look what she said. Quote, "I'm an honest lady, and honestly, in my heart, I don't feel like this one is a forever one. So I think maybe he'll come back again." Diana Rossini, and look, the Booger Man is with us this morning. Booger McFarland gets up with us early here today. But Diana, let me start quickly with you on this. I've heard so many people say, no, this time it's for real. This time Gronk is stepping away. Here's his girlfriend. That's a pretty good source. What do we think?
Yeah, I know. So much for my theory last week with you when I said it's baby Gronk time, right? Because if Camille is saying, look, maybe there's a shot, then I think they're putting that to the side for a minute here. And everyone I have spoken with in Tampa over the last week or so, since this news really started to pick up steam, Rob Gronkowski telling our Mike Reese, yeah, I'm done. And Mike Reese has covered him for years, and he knows him very well. And he even said, the door's shut. It sounds like this is really it. But Tampa Bay sources tell me they're also in the Mike Reese camp there. That was the read on the situation for them. And there was always that small chance that Tampa was going to leave the door open in case during the season, if the Bucs went on a run and all of a sudden Gronk starts feeling a little bit better and Brady makes the call, that he could come back. But his health, Greeny, that is the true reason I was told as to why Gronk is hanging it up. It's his health. He is not 100%. So until he can get healthy, then maybe we can come back to the conversation.
Fair enough. But I mean, Booger, I want you just to sort of let this number sink in for a moment here. I can't emphasize it enough. These are the stats since Brady and Gronk got to Tampa together. In the red zone, with Gronk on the field, Brady has 48 touchdowns and 0 picks. So, Booger, with that context in mind, how important is this decision? How would you describe the significance toward Brady's chances of winning another championship, of having Gronk back at some point this year?
Well, Greeny, first of all, greetings. I hope your golf game is well. Dan, your wine take is trash. Diana, I hope the little man is doing well. I hope everybody's summer is going great. Greeny, to your point about Rob Gronkowski, and I think Dan said in the first hour, he is a huge part. His ability to catch the football, more importantly, his ability to block was outstanding last year. And so, yeah, it would be really, really good if he came back. However, Greeny, think about this. No team is the same year to year. So this Bucs team was always going to be different this year. You got a new head coach. We all know about Godwin, who's not going to be back until probably late November, early December. But here's the thing. We're talking about all the negatives. What about the positives? I think this defense is going to be better this year. You draft Logan Hall. You bring in Akeem Hicks, who, in my opinion, is an upgrade over Ndamukong Suh. Yeah, Shaq Barrett is a question. Can he get back to what he was a couple of years ago? That's yet to be seen, but this secondary is going to be a lot healthier. And so I think this defense, who didn't play well last year, is going to go back to what they were 2 years ago. So yeah, the team may not be the same. It may not look the same, but I do think this team has a chance to be a viable Super Bowl contender. It's just going to